and the economy were the three areas of immediate intervention by the President Muhammadu Buhari administration at inception in May 2015. These are areas which the administration realized very early needed to be fixed for any meaningful impact to be made on the lives of Nigeria's over 180 million people. Not unmindful of the enormity of the task ahead, and considering that no government in recent time came on board with so many expectations from the citizenry, aggressive methods were employed in tackling the challenges. And with the people constituting our focus on this platform, the Dateline 360 team in this edition looks at how the Buhari-led government has impacted their lives midway into the administration. It's good to have you join us. As always, I'm Hawa Salihu Adama. Hello, it's Dateline 360. We are glad you rejoined us as we conduct a midterm review of policies and programs of the Buhari-led government as they affect our constituents, the people. Our first report comes from Maiduguri, the epicenter of what could be described as insecurity, following the rampaging activities of Boko Haram terrorists. 2 years down the line, what's the situation? Over now to Maimuna Garba.
For the people of northeast Nigeria, in particular Borno State, the 2 years of President Muhammadu Buhari administration has brought about the end of the darkest period on the history of the region. Today, Maiduguri, the Borno State capital, is fast becoming a modern city than it was before the insurgency, what with the political will of the government of the day for a change. And in the local government areas, massive reconstruction is in progress, with the work reaching appreciable level of completion, more especially in Damasak and Bama, that were almost leveled to the ground by Boko Haram terrorists.
We have done about 70% of the entire reconstruction process, and we hope to complete the remaining 30%.
In their 7 years of campaign to establish their caliphate, Boko Haram terrorist reign of terror in the northeast caused the deaths of thousands of people and destruction of property worth $9 billion, with Borno alone accounting for $6.6 billion, according to a post-insurgency recovery and peace-building assessment jointly carried out by United Nations and Nigerian government. Over 2 million people have been displaced from their homes, and communities taking refuge in camps spread across the state, now with the improvement of security. Many more are being brought from neighboring countries on a daily basis. Some of the displaced persons have returned to their communities 2 years following the inception of Buhari administration.
A day you had a bomb blast more than 2 or 3 or 4 times a day. You see people running anywhere. When Mr. President comes to administration, we have spent more than 3 or 4 months. We have not seen dead body lying down in the streets.
The renewed efforts of the military and commitment in the counter-insurgency war, where President Muhammadu Buhari directed the relocation of the military command and control center to Maiduguri, led to achieving significant peace, especially with the liberation of local government areas, Itato under the occupation of Boko Haram terrorists, relaxation of curfew hours, disappearance of roadblocks within Maiduguri metropolis, and indeed on highways across the entire northeast, fall of Sambisa forest, and release of appreciable number of Chibok girls, as well as thousands of women and children held hostages by Boko Haram terrorists.
If you go to Gubio, go to Damasak, you'll see that life has returned to normal. So I would say that peace has returned. It's for us to build on what we have now and ensure that we do not have a relapse. And that's what we, from the perspective of the Operation Lafia Dole, will continue to do.
These achievements gave way to economic advancement in the state, with the business activities picking up, especially with the reopening of major roads like the Maiduguri-Gamborungala, Maiduguri-Dambuabiu, and Maiduguri-Damasak roads have tremendously enhanced interstate and international trade. The presence of the federal government in Borno has now become more visible and active, with the untiring commitment of the federal government reconstruction projects, Victim Support Fund, National Commission for Refugees, Migrants and Internally Displaced, the Presidential Initiative for the Northeast Project, as well as the N-Power program, where citizens of Borno benefited a lot from the project.
Buhari, during his campaign, he came up with 3 cardinal principles. 1, he said he's going to fight corruption. 2, he said he's going to eradicate insurgency, fight insurgency. 3rd, youth employment. All the 3 areas has been touched. Tremendously has been touched. We have a great change.
Since the inception of this government, definitely we have had a lot of development. Unprecedented development had come to Northeast and Borno in particular.
Residents of Maiduguri are looking forward to the takeoff of the Northeast Development Commission, which they say will hopefully change the face of things. In Maiduguri, Maimuna Garba reporting for Dateline 360.
That commission, Maimuna, will no doubt accelerate the reconstruction process of the Northeast, which is a major priority, many things, and closely linked to security and a major victim of corrupt practices, which has been the bane of development in Nigeria, is the economy. With diversification of this sector critical, we present efforts towards reviving the agriculture sector with rise in wheat production by the Kebbi State government as case study. Nura Tanko Wakili is our guide.
Kebbi State produced about 1.2 million metric tons of rice last year, following the introduction of the Central Bank of Nigeria's Anchor Borrowers Program. The success recorded resulted into about 120% increase in hectares cultivated this year over last year. What many call rice revolution started about 2 years ago with the presidential flag-off of the dry season rice and wheat production, and the coming together of various stakeholders with overwhelming promises for a better deal to the farmers. Many were propelled to engage in rice production, hence the successes recorded. The stakeholders attributed this to the intervention of the federal and state governments in the provision of farm inputs and implements, as well as soft facilities to farmers.
The program of President Muhammadu Buhari that was launched in Kebbi State on agriculture was what I would call a great roadmap to the development of the country.
And because of what happened, a lot of people who were not rice farmers before have now joined in.
Now uptakers are available. Farmers never had it good like now. Previously, the bag of paddy is selling at the rate of 5,000 naira per bag. Now it reaches up to 2,000 naira per bag.
The stakeholders said the increase in the production capacity has a multiplier effect on the economy, including partnership between states such as Lagos and Kebbi State collaboration.
The arrangement is that Kebbi will produce food, all types of crops and vegetables and even fruits, to be taken to Lagos, and Lagos will prepare storage facilities, shops, and create the enabling market for these crops.
The stakeholders, however, advocated for immediate solution to some of the identifiable challenges.
In previous time, a bag of fertilizer is sold at 200 naira, 500 naira. Now for you to attain the same quality of fertilizer, which is 50 kg, is about 8,000 naira. Now, if government can subsidize this input, then the price of paddy will really come down.
We have very shortage of Fadama access roads. We want that to be in place, and if possible, again, we should have a special arrangement for rice farmers to buy fuel at controlled price.
Farmers, on their part, thanked both federal and state governments for encouraging agricultural production and appeal for more support.
The whole of Birnin Kebbi now, we don't have any machine that can harvest your rice. We are always doing it manually, and this what I heard, the machine is not costly. We are ready to pay.
The farmers also called for a more institutionalized marketing platform for their products. The sustenance of the successes recorded in rice production largely depends on government continued support to the farmers, as according to them, they are now into massive production of rice, hence the need for more farm implements as well as inputs. In Birnin Kebbi, Nora Chankwakili, reporting for Dateline 360.
That concern, I believe, Nura, the partnership among states will address, as the relationship with Lagos State is already doing. Over now to Musa Toliet.
In 2016, the partnership between Lagos and Kebbi states produced an unprecedented result in rice cultivation. Lagos Kebbi rice, otherwise known as lake rice, emerged. Since achieving this feat, the Lagos State government went on to sign a $25 million rice pact with the federal government under the Fadama 3 additional financing.
45% of our beneficiaries in Lagos State, they are youth. And with this, we have been able to reduce the unemployment in Lagos.
We have seen a lot of progresses, development, capacity building. Very soon we start packaging federated Fadama, Lagos federated Fadama rice.
Tapping into the huge potentials of the rail transport system was also an integral part of federal government diversification initiatives. The narrow gauge lines have continued to boost the economy of Lagos State and several states in the country.
Doing like 10,000 people every day on the Lagos mass transit. We're doing 16 mass transit trains. There are days we do like 4 excursions. Recently, we started moving livestock. This was something that has not been done in a very long time. We also did vegetables from the north to the south. This has translated to increase in revenue for us.
Subsequently, the federal government flagged off the construction of the standard gauge lines to establish interconnection between states and enhance trade relations. There are plans by the federal government to move haulage and petroleum products by rail transport system. This is expected to forestall carnage, preserve road infrastructure, and boost revenue collection in the country. In Lagos, Musa Toliat.
And boosting much-needed revenue as well as easing pressure off the roads, not only in Lagos State, but across the country, are what the reforms in the transportation sector are all about. That's the submission of Ohinaya Kalu Oka.
It is a lovely sunny day, and the people of Ajaokuta have left their cherished farms for an occasion they describe as special. It is the dredging of the 162-kilometer Ajaokuta-Onitsha waterways, a project long anticipated by the people.
It's part of progress. The community are giving full 100% cooperation. It will create a lot of job opportunity to our people.
With a high local content involvement, the project saved government millions of naira, as staff of the National Inland Waterways Authority are the major executors.
For the same work, we would have paid 200 million if we were contracting it out.
Posed to improve the management of waterways across the country and generate economic activities, government is also dredging the waterways in the 26 states of the Federation.
When they get to Onitsha, we'll continue from Onitsha to Bayelsa and come back from Lokoja to Baro. We are going to complete Baro Seaport, River Port rather, this year.
Closely connected is the introduction of the single window platform in Nigerian ports, a measure aimed at eliminating bottlenecks and corruption while improving service delivery.
This delay it impacts on our businesses, it impacts on clearance, it even adds on demurrage and cost of goods. That's why a lot of people, you see people move to Togo Port and all the rest to clear.
In the aviation sector, government's demonstration of total commitment to the safety of air travelers is seen in the timely completion of the runway of the Nnamdi Azikiwe International Airport within the stipulated time.
It was world class and per the standard. It was very good.
We don't find anything that was out of ordinary. It was perfect.
We set out to achieve that target. We achieved the target. So the runway is safe, is good, is perfect.
The rail sector also came alive during this period as much effort were committed to the rehabilitation of the entire existing narrow gauge line and the development of the new standard gauge line.
We've resumed work at Itabe Warri. Itabe Warri has been there for the past 34 years. The interim measure is going to be put in place between now and July to ensure that we begin to run rail services from Lagos to Kano, from Port Harcourt to Maiduguri. Even if we don't get to Maiduguri, at least I'm sure we can get to Gombe. And that will start before the end of July. And the GE is going to bring about 20 locomotives, 500 wagons, and some coaches for passengers.
The completion of the fourth standard gauge railway in Nigeria at the cost of $1.5 billion has revived and repositioned railway services in Nigeria. The Abuja to Kaduna Standard Gauge Railway was flagged off by President Muhammadu Buhari on the 26th of July 2016. Commercial activity started on the 27th. Now, observers said not up to 2 years. It has boosted economic activities, created employment directly and indirectly, and it has also eased transportation from Abuja to Kaduna.
It's a wonderful change, economical-wise and safety-wise.
It saved me money and time.
This is the kind of dividends that Nigerians are looking for.
Since Buhari come to commission this railway, now we used to say when we have money, at least we still say with some cash and go home. But before we don't even have some cash.
Now that I'm working, I'm so happy, enjoy doing the work.
When we had the closure of the airport here between the 8th of March to the 19th of April, a period of 6 weeks, the rail was used in conveying passengers to connect their flights in Kaduna, and we had a successful operation.
Although the issue of getting to the train stations seems to be a challenge due to the distance from city centers. However, as you can see, work is ongoing at the head office of the Abuja Metro Line, which is expected to move passengers from the Abuja city center to the Idu train station. The FCT minister is expected to test run the Abuja Railway from November this year. For Dateline 360, Oyinaya Kalu Oka.
Heartwarming development, many would say Oyinaya, as an effective transportation system is crucial to advancement of the economy and people. And to our last report in this package, which also relates to the smooth movement of people and goods, Susan Eze will now give us the status of federal roads in the southeast zone, following aggressive plans by the administration at road development across the country.
The Enugu-Port Harcourt Express Road behind me is a very strategic road to the people of the southeast. Currently, there are intervention works by the federal government going on in different parts of the road. It was good news to the people of Enugu State and the southeast hearing from the Minister for Power, Works and Housing, Babatunde Fashola, that government has remobilized contractors handling the rehabilitation of about 6 critical federal roads in the state. Holding on to this promise, the people watched the ongoing rehabilitation of sections of the Enugu-Onitsha, Enugu-Port Harcourt expressways, Ndiago-Agba-Ebenebe highway, among other roads, with anticipation of a boost to the economy.
If the roads are good, it will have a very positive impact on agriculture in Enugu South, in Enugu State, and of course, in the whole of the southeast zone.
There are also rehabilitation works by the Federal Road Maintenance Agency, FEMA.
We have the road that is named Udi, Ozala, Nara and Karfi Road. This road is a 56 kilometers length, and FEMA intervened on 24 kilometers out of these 56 kilometers.
To salvage some of the badly dilapidated federal roads, the Enugu State government has taken up some intervention works to the tune of 25 billion naira, which the federal government has promised to refund. There are 5 states in the southeast zone. The federal roads cut across several of these states. Although their conditions are similar, the level of intervention in these states differ from state to state. As a result of direct intervention by the Buhari administration and federal government's approved interventions by the Ebonyi state government, many federal roads in Ebonyi state are now motorable compared to what they were several years back, when only 2 roads, the Enugu-Abakaliki and the Okigwe-Uturu-Amasiri-Afikpo roads, were accessible. Other ongoing projects in the state for which the people are grateful are the Osoeda, Ohafia, and the Oduma-Ndeabo-Ishiago federal roads.
Constructions going on the federal roads in Ebonyi State shows that the president has shown competence.
Most of the federal road in the Ebonyi has seen a federal lift. That is to show that Southeast have not ever fared well than now.
Despite palliative measures by the Anambra state government, the Omonia axis of the Enugu-Onitsha Expressway has remained a sorry sight due to long years of neglect. Though the people are happy with the current federal government intervention work at the Enugu axis of the highway, they are hopeful that other federal roads in the state, particularly the second Niger Bridge, will receive similar attention.
From Onitsha to Owerri, the maintenance work is very good. They can't do all these things within a very short period of 2 years. But I'm happy that they're doing something, and I'm happy that they're making good progress.
The rehabilitation work on Aba-Port Harcourt, Aba-Ikote-Ekpene federal highways, traversing Abia State to other neighboring states, is a welcome development to residents of the area as they lament the long neglect.
The federal government is trying, but we want them to complete the job.
2 years down the line, the people of the southeast are hopeful that by full term, many more roads would have been fully rehabilitated. Simply put, the summary of the story from this end, Hawa, is that Oliver wants some more. From Enugu, Susan Eze for Dateline 360.
And Oliver will surely get more by full term.